Hi, this is Whispers. I will be doing the reading for the sign of Aquarius for the month of August 2026. The deck that I'm using is the Rider-Waite deck by Pamela Coleman-Smith and Arthur Waite. And what I've done is I pulled an overall energy card to begin the reading with, and that will give you the energy that you are going to need to focus into each of the individual weeks. So the overall energy card, you have the Three of Pentacles, and that's reversed. And that talks about, kind of having trouble to get the resources that you need, whether it's financial help, whether it's physical help of some sort, okay? So it does talk about financial issues, and it also talks about maybe, Aquarius, you got a little bit of a bad attitude going on there, and maybe you're not willing to put the effort in, and so that's why you're not able to get the resources that you need. You might simply need a drive somewhere, okay? And you're not willing to put the effort into that relationship, or maybe you don't have the funds to pay for it, to pay for the trip, okay? So those type of things are coming up. But it does talk about you needing to improve your skills. Now, there might be someone in your circle of energy that doesn't value your skills, your abilities, or even the relationship with you, and so they're kind of pulling away. And those are the energies that you're dealing with in that month of August, where you might have to put a little bit more effort into your relationship, into your job, into the dynamics in your life, okay? Put a little bit more effort, a little more oomph, right? So we're going to move into the first week. And in the first couple of days of that first week, you have the reverse death card. Now, the reverse death card, it talks about a slow transformation. It can talk about a minor illness. It can talk about a close call that's going to bring about some type of ending, okay? Now, it might also be someone who's dealing with a health issue that it's a death equivalent issue. It could be someone who's, if they're not focused on it, if they're not going to see a medical professional, it might very well have to do with cancer or heart attack or diabetes, okay? But it's something that will need further research or further help in some sort, okay? And that could be you. I mean, maybe it did say that you're having to put the effort into something in your life, that overall energy card. So maybe you need to focus on your health a little bit more. Maybe you're not focusing on your diet or your exercise, okay? Or even your mental health. Maybe you're not finding that peaceful balance in your life. And so those are the things that you're dealing with. But it might also be someone that you care about who's dealing with health issues in this way, okay? So middle couple of days of that first week, you've got the Three of Cups, and the Three of Cups is straight up, and that talks about joy. It talks about friendships and good times, social events, going to parties, perhaps going to vacation, going to the cottage, okay? It does talk about festivities, so possibly a birthday party, maybe a wedding, anniversary party, okay? Or even a celebration of life. But it does talk about something to celebrate. And you will be receiving some pleasurable compliments, recognition, even congratulations or invitations. Are you getting married? Are you getting engaged? Are you making a commitment to another person? And it did talk, that energy card talked about having to put the effort in and making a commitment to something or someone possibly. And that very well might happen in that first week, okay? Maybe you're getting engaged. But it does talk about loneliness is ending in your life. And it does talk about the bonding between three people. And that could be siblings, that could be family members, extended family. But it does talk about relationships with family are going to bring in energetic type of energy in that first week, okay? And it's going to give you that zest for life. You're excited about it. You're excited about joining with other people. Now, it does say that possibly, if you're single, you might meet someone at a celebration and, you might become close friends or maybe even more. So we're going to move into the last couple of days of that first week. And there's an air sign female. And, this person is pretty analytical, okay? They're very intellectual. They love challenges, very independent and self-assured, and they make fair decisions. Now, this could stand for a lawyer, a judge, a boss, a mentor, okay? But it's someone that's not very emotional. And, they might appear as cold and uncaring. So, it could simply be that you have to go see a lawyer. Maybe someone, I mean, maybe you're getting married or getting engaged, and so you're going to see a lawyer to get, documents written up for that. I mean, maybe you're going to have a meritable or meritable. I can't say the word. A meritable contract. So maybe you are going to, want to have certain things that are set aside that, if you get married, 9/10 of the law, right? Ownership is 9/10 of the law. So maybe you're going to bypass that. Maybe you're going to sign up a contract. So good to talk about an attorney, a judge, possibly even building something. Maybe you're getting involved with building a home, okay? Maybe even a business. So it could be a programmer, it could be someone, an engineer of sorts, okay? Could be a doctor, a scientist, a neurologist. Are you having issues with heart problems? Are you having issues with, diabetes, with arterial plaque, those type of things, okay? Now, it could also talk about a child, looking at children's development or even educational needs for children, okay? So maybe you have a child that's dealing with these type of issues and you're stepping up to the plate for them. So there's so many different dynamics that can happen with this Queen of Swords energy, okay? It could even be a teacher. Maybe you and a teacher or a mentor are kind of standing up to the plate for a child of yours or a friend of yours or a partner of yours who is maybe possibly dealing with having to relearn some type of skill after a health issue, okay? So just be aware of that some of these dynamics, they're pretty changeable in that first week. They're pretty changeable. So a lot of things can be happening at one time. It did talk about celebrations. It talked about celebrations and joining with other people, possibly to find a solution to a dilemma, okay? So that first week it could go a lot of different ways, but it is a general reading. So we're into the second week now. Now, in that second week, you got the Seven of Wands straight up, and that talks about inventiveness, okay? Being very courageous and problem solving. Now, think about it. In the first week, you might have been dealing with health issues and having to find a solution to them. And in that second week, you're overcoming some obstacles. But it does say you need to be alert and you need to deal with problems, okay? Overcome obstacles and opposition from other people and other type of problems, okay? Not everybody is going to agree with what you want to manifest or what you want to come into existence. So maybe you have an elderly parent who's ill, who had a stroke or something, and you're wanting to get them into some type of facility where they can get help. And maybe your family members are saying, hell no. Well, I know myself, I don't want to go into long-term care. And maybe your family members are saying, no, we're not doing that. We're not doing that to mom or dad. We're not doing that. We're going to figure out another way. So you might have to, take defense. Are you the executor of someone's will? Are you, the one that's in charge of, if they haven't got the capacity, make decisions for themselves, okay? And you might have to stand up to the plate and take defense for your ideas or even your belief system or even your ideology, okay? So people are going to challenge you, and it might even be the simple fact that they're challenging what you want to do with your life. They're disagreeing. I mean, maybe you want to get into a new relationship. Maybe you want to move, and they're saying, why would you want to do that? So they're basically challenging you. They're challenging your direction, your career, your lifestyle, your relationships, okay? They might even be questioning your religious or even your political beliefs. And that can be a tough one to deal with. So it does talk about energy and endurance is going to be needed in competitive activities. Are you vying to get a job where there's a lot of other people who are interested in it? Maybe you're running for a local politician job. And what I'm seeing here is there's going to be a lot of people vying for that position, okay? So it does say, position yourself well. Stand your ground and be very defensive, okay? Now, changes in plans might happen later. I mean, you might get thrown into the running for some type of position. And then all of a sudden you decide, nah, you know what, it's too much, I don't want to do it. Now, it does talk about respect for the earth and getting involved in something that is dealing with that. It could be an activity such as homesteading or farming, or maybe even you're standing up as a local politician to help the farmers in our country or in your country. So, there's different ways of dealing with that. I mean, simply you could be growing a garden, learning to self-sustain, okay, getting involved in homesteading, buying a farm, starting some type of homesteading business of sorts, okay? And there's people who are questioning your motives. So we're moving into the middle 2 days of that second week. And in the middle 2 days of that second week, you have the Ten of Swords. And this Ten of Swords is straight up. Hang on, I got the cards mixed up here. Okay, so you've got the Ten of Swords and it's straight up. And that talks about an accumulation of problems. You feel like giving up, okay? And it could simply be the world economies where you're not... I mean, maybe you've got a business where you're selling products to other countries. I mean, foodstuffs, okay, things that you've grown. And, you feel like giving up because it's just getting crazy. There's tariffs put on things and there's taxes put on things, and it's just like way too much. So it does say that you just feel like throwing in the towel. Yeah. But you know what? I'll tell you what. Watch your back and be very careful who you trust, okay? Someone might be talking bad about you, or maybe even trying to create problems for you and throwing a wrench in the works. I mean, they might be the ones that are saying, well, don't buy their products because their products are not as good as our products, right? So now just talk about your environment and work and even relationships. That could be romantic or familial. Yeah, so there's going to be some strain in all those areas. Now think about it. If you're losing money at work, it's going to trickle down to your family life. It's going to trickle down into your home life, okay, in your environment. Now it does say look after your health because stress is starting to take its toll. Now you might have to change long-standing patterns in your lifestyle. It could be your diet. Maybe you're a drinker. Maybe you're a smoker and you're having to cut back on that, okay? So it might even be your relationships. I mean, maybe you're allowing that stress to take over your relationships, and there's a lot of anger and pulling away from constructive talks with a relationship in your life, okay? So it could also stand for family feuds, inherited family problems, okay? And what it's saying, Aquarius, that you need to break that cycle. These are problems that you've dealt with in previous years, okay? And you need to break that cycle. And it does sound like it's going to end with you. Now, it also talks about world issues. It talks about economies faltering. It talks about war. It talks about terrorism. It even talks about riots and protests that might get aggressive. So now we are moving into the third week. And in that third week, oh, you have turned it all around. So you've taken charge. You're taking charge of your life, your environment, your situation, your job, okay? You're on this journey of self-discovery, and you're recognizing, you know what? I'm going to find my own destiny and what's right for me. You're going to find the right education, the right job, right friends, even the right relationship. So if you were in a relationship where you were being placated, or you were being abused, where you were being isolated, okay? You're going to pull away from that. You're going to be in a position of strength as you move into that third week. And if you are questioning whether the individual that you're interested in is the right one for you, the answer is yes. Yes. But it does talk about you leaving a previous relationship to move into a new relationship. So that new relationship, if you're questioning it, don't, because that is a fated relationship. And if you want to know if they're interested, over the top, Aquarius, they're over the top. Yes, they are. So it does talk about you using your resources with confidence. It talks about being proactive, independent, taking an interest in everything. If you wanted to meet somebody, put that effort forth. If you want to start a relationship with someone, make that phone call. Pick up that phone and branch the distance between you, okay? So it does say that you're recognizing how to take charge of your life. Yeah, and you're dedicated to making it work, whether it's a new course of study, whether it's a new relationship, whether it's a new environment, whether it's a new way of dealing with your health. You are going to seek out the right people, the right opportunity, and you are making step-by-step realistic plans, and you are ticking it off as you go. And you know, it also talks about reinforcement, reinforcing the positive things that you are vying for in your life. Okay, so we are now moving in to the middle 2 days of that third week. You have the Seven of Swords straight up. So it does talk about an illness, and a serious illness, okay? So use your inventiveness, because this could simply be someone stealing from you. Be aware of risks, any risk-taking that you're planning. If you're planning on going on a trip, make sure you have an itinerary of where you're going, what you're going to do, when you're going to get there, your transportation, if you need an Uber ahead of time, those type of things. So be aware of that, okay? And be aware of unexpected events. That could even be, you know, the plane is delayed, or the train is delayed, or the car breaks down, okay? Those type of things. It does talk about questioning your own motives and your own actions. Are you pushing forward on a new relationship, a new job, a new course of study? Something that you're doing, are you pushing too fast, or are you ready for this, okay? So it does talk about mental challenges, and even looking at a way forward in your life, okay? So experimentation with new ways of doing things, dealing with things, planning, problem solving, strategies, okay? Coming up with strategies. Now, something very unexpected may happen, and it's going to bring about a finality. That could simply be that, I mean, maybe you're planning on going to a new job and it's at a distance, okay? And maybe something unexpected happens where you're offered a better position where you are. So there's going to be a lot of decisions where you're going to have to look at what it is that you truly want in your life, okay? It does talk about redistribution of material things. Redesigning, creative design arrangements, experimenting with different lifestyles, different beliefs, different languages, and different foods. So that's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing. So looking at everything that's available to you and all the resources that are in front of you. And indeed, if you're planning on moving for, you know, a new job, or you've purchased a new home, or you're moving to a new environment, okay, look at the things in that environment. Are these things that you want to bring into existence in your life, okay? Are these relationships that you think will solidify over time, that they will be respectful and loyal and strong and grounded relationships? So we are now in the last couple of days of that third week. And you have got the sun, and the sun is straight up. So yes, 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 there is positive affirmations to every question that you could possibly have. And we were talking about a new environment, a new job, a new relationship, a new way of living, maybe even just simply taking care of your health and a new diet, okay? Maybe you're going to turn from medical doctors or big pharma. Maybe you're going to choose to take the holistic route. Now, with the Sun card, it's yes to any questions you have. So it's a positive card. There is charm, and there's radiance and energy, and you're looking at your life in a different way. You're seeing the forest in spite of the trees, okay? But you're also seeing that clearing on the other side, and you're making your way forward. So it's a very powerful card. It talks about money. It talks about success in relationships, jobs, receiving public recognition. I mean, maybe you won that political affiliation, okay? It also talks about children's issues, so it could talk about pregnancy. Are you wanting to become a parent? Are you wanting to get involved in some type of a relationship where it's got a sense of newness to it? Now, when it talks about pregnancy, it could simply be starting a new business endeavor. It could simply be having a child. Yes, it could. So it could talk about childbirth. It could talk about protection. It could talk about parenting of some sort, okay, where you're parenting. I mean, maybe you're getting an animal. Maybe you're going to become a pet parent, okay? So it does talk about openness. It talks about gifts and favors, and you're feeling this like tremendous growth and luck and this high level of energy. You want this sense of freedom and celebration in your life. And indeed, you are moving forward in that aspect. So I don't see anything negative in your cards in the month of August. So we're going to move into the last week. And in that last week, the first couple of days, you have the strength card. It's straight up. You know what? Your common sense is kicking to hell in. Yeah. You're using your wisdom and your self-control over your emotions, which is a good thing. And it does talk about you having concern about your body and even your physical appearance. You're looking at your health through a lens, a microscopic lens. You're looking at the things that you need to change in your life concerning your health, okay? Now, it does talk about physical appearance. So, beauty's in the eye of the beholder, and I'm a strong believer in the fact that our beauty stems from inside and our confidence that we exude, okay? So it does talk about that energy and that confidence and that courage and that determination to change something in your life, and you're going to do it. You're feeling that powerful sense of me. It's about me. It's about my confidence, my looks, what I want, okay? You've got the strength of character, Aquarius, to face what it is that you need to face. Yeah. You're going to get through these difficulties. You're going to gain success, okay? It's even talking about physical recovery from illness. Yeah. Vitalism. Maybe you're going to get involved in some type of supplementation that's going to benefit your health in some way. Talks about body movement, getting involved in, nature studies, or possibly even just getting involved in yoga or starting to walk or to run, okay? And maybe you're going to choose to run in nature, and in a nature trail. But it does talk about possibly allowing someone to lean on you for a while and breaking a bad habit. Are you a drinker, a smoker? Are you someone that thrives on this learned helplessness type of energy, okay, where you don't feel like you're good enough, that you don't feel like you can make decisions, okay? But it might also be someone in your life who is dealing with these issues and you're helping them. It could be a child, a friend, a sibling, a parental figure, okay? And you're helping them break a bad habit and replace them with good. It does talk about a strong attention paid to diet and exercise in the last week of August. So you are exploring things. You are exploring different wisdoms and researching things and traditions, and you're exercising the sense of self-preservation and self-choice. And you know what? You're moving forward. You're not going to take no for an answer. You are going to benefit yourself, your life, and those people that you care about and that you love. You are going to benefit them by self-exploration, where you're going to experiment with new ways of doing things, new foods, new supplementation possibly, maybe even new exercise regimes, okay? So now we're moving into the middle couple of days of that last week. And you might feel like you've made this choice in love that was a little bit wrong. You might have made a mistake getting involved in a relationship, getting married. Maybe maybe you got married a little bit too quick, right? And now you're having to deal with the repercussions of divorce and dividing the property and things like that, okay? So be aware of that. Now, it does talk about changing dynamics in a relationship. Could be a friendship, could be a marriage, could be a relationship with a sibling, with a child, with a parental figure, okay? It could even be that maybe a child of yours is leaving a relationship, and so you're dealing with those type of dynamics, and you're wanting to help them sort through the heartache that they're dealing with at this point in time. But it could even stand for quitting a job. So maybe you've decided what you want to bring into your life. And you've decided, okay, I want to leave this area that I'm working in, and I want to move into a new area. And maybe you moved a little bit too quick. You quit that job too quick. prior to finding out all the job responsibilities that would be coming at you in the future. Now, if you vied to become a local politician and you won, and now you're seeing that, hell, I don't think I want to do this. I don't feel strong enough. I don't feel confident, okay? And that might very well be what's happening at this point in time in your life. But it does say that you are going to find where you belong, okay? And this might be that process of transition where you were dealing with the fact that you wanted to pull away from a relationship, a marriage, a job, an environment. You were just planning. You were in the planning stages in those first 3 weeks. And in that last week, you're finally saying, okay, I'm ready. I'm ready to pull the pin. Yeah, but it does talk about a major change in personal status. And you might be resisting these changes, okay? And those changes might even be slow to materialize. But it could talk about a graduation. Maybe you were taking a course of study, and maybe you're graduating, maybe even on the job training. And so now you're graduating and you're moving into the next level in your life or in your job. But it does say that you're leaving one aspect and moving into a better one, a stronger one, a more rooted one, okay? Could also talk about promotion. It could talk about, doing the right thing at the right time. People are going to be judging you, but, the law is going to be on your side. So if there's something that you were concerned about, legality, maybe you left a job and maybe you were, worried that you might lose your pension or you might lose something because you left a job early. Well, it does say that the law is going to be on your side and you are going to gain some sort of public recognition. Okay, it does say that you need to make a clean break with the past. Okay, reinvent yourself. It's time to become a different person. And it does talk about insights into truth in your life. And there is going to be an answer that's going to come to you about a reason behind an action, whether an action you did or someone you cared about. I mean, maybe you were in a relationship and that relationship fell apart, and now you're going to find out why it fell apart. Might have been someone doing some chatting behind the scenes, okay? It might be someone who cheated with your partner, okay? So something like that. It also talks about a spiritual calling. You feel like you're able to see into the future, that you see the benefit of the things that you are bringing into your life, that you see, it's almost like a calling, like this is where you were guided to, okay? You were guided to this exact spot in your life where you are going to be part of the change in our world, okay? Now it does talk, as I said, a major change in status and improvement. Now it could be that you're going to get married or you're going to meet someone that, is for the long haul, someone who has that sense of strength in a relationship, loyalty and respect. And that's what you've been vying for. It could also stand, like I said, when it's a marriage, it could be a marriage with a physical partner, or it could be a marriage to a new way of seeing life or getting involved in life. Becoming a politician, becoming a teacher, becoming a mentor, becoming a homesteader, starting something new, a new business in your life, okay? Now, the very last energies that I'm going to talk about here is the Ace of Wands straight up. And so because of all the things that have changed in your life, there's going to be an increase of activities in your life. You're going to have to act very quickly to take advantage of an opportunity for some type of creative experience. And it's going to bring about positive and personal growth. Things are going to happen quick, Aquarius, very quick. So make sure you're pulling your britches up and you got your shoes on. It talks about new energies and ideas. You and the people around you, you're feeling inspired and you want to bring about change in your life, in your environment, for those people that you care about, okay? You have this desire to get involved in new projects and to start a new project. Maybe you're going to start some new type of program that is going to benefit many people in your area, in your environment, okay? Your energy level is high. You're excited. You have this burst of inspiration and you're motivated. And that's the best thing, is you're motivated. And when you're motivated, you will move forward with a relish, okay? You're going to do new things, maybe even start a new program of study. Maybe you're going to become a mentor to somebody else to teach them a skill, okay? But it does talk about new relationships, new friendships, a new health regime. And you know what? Technology is going to play a part in your life at this point in time. And it could even play a part in romance. So maybe you are talking to someone online. Maybe you're getting involved in an online relationship or an online business. It does talk about leadership and charisma, and you are going to have a return of that vitality that all Aquarius have underneath their belt, okay? So you are going to feel energetic. You're going to feel healthier. You're going to feel more confident, okay? So congratulations on moving forward in your life, and I hope it all works for you well. And indeed, I will see you in the month of September. So take care, stay vibrant, and stay energetic. Because you know what, Aquarius, you're going to need it. Namaste. Bye-bye.